All right, guys, so we brought you back today, second day of orientation. Before we get to all of our swim tests and everything we have to do today, we want to start off with something a little different to kind of commemorate us opening the beaches this year. We open up tomorrow, fully staffed, as you guys know. We got touch base with a couple guys in town here that were actually our first lifeguards in town. From 1949. We came up with some pictures. This is Phillips Foster right here. This is brother Dave Foster. Sorry about the introductions. This is Phil, you right here.
Yep.
This is an article detailing a rescue he made down at, was that at Bank Street Beach as well? Yep. I was going to let him kind of just talk to you guys for a few minutes, being that you're the newest generation of lifeguards here for Harwich, and he can give you a little review on how it was then and compared to how it is now. So this is Philip. He's going to talk for a few minutes. I'm going to sneak over in the corner.
Hi, gang. It's good to see you. As you mentioned, I'm Phil Foster, and I live here in Harwich now. I'm retired here. Grew up, excuse me, in Harwichport summers. This is my brother Dave, by the way. I'm going to introduce him a little bit later. Dave's and my family on my mother's side go back to the village of Harwichport to the mid-1700s. Dave and I spent every summer here during our youth and our college years, and then after military careers and civilian careers, we always came here summers whenever we could, and now we're both retired here. Dave's here during the summertime and in Florida in the winter. Anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what little history here. I'm told that there are 24 of you this year.
Actually, there's 31.
31 lifeguards.
Yeah, yep.
Well,
For the town of Harwich?
back in 1949, you're looking at it. That was the whole lifeguard division right here, one person. I was the third, as far as I know, from what I understand, I was the third lifeguard in the history of the town of Harwich, a paid lifeguard. There were two before me. The first was a gal, a local girl here in Harwichport by the name of Priscilla Baldwin. Her dad was the baseball coach and manager for the Harwich Town team, which is a predecessor to the Harwich Mariners. They had a great baseball team. He was very well known here, and there's a field somewhere here in the town of Harwich that's named after him. She was a student at Sargent College, which was a part of BU, physical ed. She married a football player there at BU. Great gal. She was there on duty, I think, for about 3 years, and then she was followed by a guy by the name of Alan Carter, who was a student at the University of Massachusetts. He was there for 1 year, and then I took over in 1949 and served for 4 years through 1952. And my brother Dave, here, Dave followed me, and he was here for lifeguard for 2 years, also while he was at URI. This picture, I wanted to tell you a little bit about this. That picture was taken in 1950, and this was our rescue board. I got to tell you the story behind this. The recreation director was a gentleman by the name of Earl Bassett.
Yep.
Earl Bassett. Yeah, Earl. And Earl came to me one day at the end of the latter part of that first year of 1949. He said, I got a deal for you. He said, I will provide you, the town, and you, with a rescue board that is made out of Catalina Island out in California. He said, but it's going to cost you. He said, the deal is that if you will give free swimming lessons to the children in town here, in the morning, let's just say for a half hour to an hour, 3 days a week, we'll get the board. And I said, it's a deal. So in 1950, I had this board. That board was about, if you look right here, there's a seam here, which would be the halfway mark of the length. And I was 5'8" then. This board was about 13 to 14 feet long, made from laminated Philippine mahogany, solid mahogany rails on the inside, and that sucker was heavy. To get it into the water, we'd have to tow it up in the far up in the bow was a what would you call that, Dave? A piston or some sort that John screwed to let the water out. You drag it by that, or get someone to help you with it. In the afternoon, I would scrunch down behind this board, get on my back, lift it up, walk up to the parking lot, and slide it into the rumble seat of my old Ford convertible. That's how we transported. But anyhow, kids got their swimming lessons, and I got the board, and it came in very, very, it was very useful, very useful. The other equipment that we had, the only equipment that we had, we provided all our own clothing. The only equipment we had was a whistle. Yeah, a special police badge. We were sworn in as special police officers. And also a thermometer, which was in a heavy wooden frame with a long piece of rawhide. In the morning, we'd take the safe board out. I'd take it out 8 days later, out to about 6 feet in depth, and put the thermometer down to see what the water temperature was, and then come back and post it up there on the stand. And then we also had a length of line with about 3 buoys that we used to float off here to cut off the drop-off. It was a very severe drop-off there. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Anyhow, that's it for the equipment. The season started for us on the first day of July right through Labor Day. We worked 7 days a week, and again, when I say we, I'm talking for all of us, but bear in mind there was one lifeguard in the town of Harwich, and it was a Bank Street beach. So our season was from the 1st of July through Labor Day, 7 days a week, no days off, only when it rained. Remember, we used to pray for rain on Sundays, in Eastwood Home and listen to the jazz band. We were paid $50 a week, $500 for the season, 10-week season. That worked out, I figured out the other day, it worked out to just over $1 an hour. Not bad back in those days. When I was a lifeguard, we had 3 serious rescues. I mean 4, 1 each year. A lot of other more minor things, but 3 were tough ones, and 4, they were pretty tough. It was good. It was very helpful to have some of your buddies around to come out and give you a hand if that was necessary. This is an article that appeared in the local press on my very first rescue, which happened on 4th of July weekend, which means that I had been on, this was my first summer being a lifeguard. And this incident occurred probably on my 3rd or 4th day, that's all. And a young gal, a local girl, I think had probably fainted and had dropped below the surface of the water. No one saw her until somebody did, and then they started yelling and screaming. So when I got to her, she was unconscious, she was not breathing. And I brought her in and started applying artificial respiration and told someone to call the rescue squad. Now this was the rescue wagon. It was a brand new wagon. It was the first one the town of Harwich ever had. And they were so proud of that wagon that it got the headlines for the rescue. As a matter of fact, it's interesting, in the last paragraph, they're saying, this is a great thing for the town of Harwich. It's not yet paid for. So we would really appreciate any money that you people would like to contribute. And that was the whole idea of the article. Anyway, it was a great way to spend the summer, very enjoyable. Learned a lot, helped me grow up. Any questions about what it used to be like back then?
Phil, let me give you a reminder that some of these people may have never been familiar with. But if you remember, at least in your time, and maybe 1 year in mine, Portuguese men of war. They came in here and just took over.
Oh, yeah. Changed too much.
You have problems with those?
We did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that would
Every
happen.
day we had to pick them
That
up.
would happen when we got some heavy winds, storms coming out of the southwest, come up through the came up through Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely-
And, what do you call that? What do you call that?
I live right there and I can't remember.
Right there. Anyway.
Gulf
Yeah, they come in.
Gulf side.
Yeah, the Gulf
Gulf
Stream.
Stream.
Gulf Stream.
Gulf Stream.
They float up the Gulf Stream. And these things were vicious. They look like a balloon, really. They were
And they had
purple
tentacles.
color. And they had tentacles that would go down, God, maybe 5 feet long. And
So you
lots and
didn't
lots
know
of
where
them.
they were,
And if they wrapped
couldn't
those
get
things
close to
around you, they would sting like crazy. And the way we treated that, we had first aid kits, by the way, and we handled all sorts of first aid stuff, people getting cut. But those stings, the way that we'd have to pull the tentacles off, and then we used,
Meat tenderizer?
no, I don't think they had meat tenderizer.
Oh, all right.
What do you call that stuff, Dave?
Oh, we used to use
Bleach?
poison
Not
ivy.
bleach, but something like that. Anyway, yeah, they were vicious.
How was, when you,
Any questions?
yeah, you said you worked 7 days. When did you start? What time of day did you start? Did you just go till
Oh, yeah,
sundown?
the hours were from 10 to 5, I believe, 10 to 5. And I gave the public swimming lessons to the kids from, I think, 8:30 to 9:30, something like that. No, I'm sorry, from 9 to 10. And then from 8 to 9, I gave private swimming lessons. And that's how I earned my beer money. The $500 that I earned for the season went into my college account. And I didn't spend a dime of that. That went to college. But I earned enough money with private swimming lessons to have a good time. Okay, guys, thanks.
As you can see, we have other pictures up on the wall with our past staff members, and we would like to honor you as well and put you up as our honorary staff and hang your portrait with your rescue board and the article on our wall as well. So thank you for your service, and we wish our staff a successful and a safe summer starting tomorrow. So any other questions for Mr. Foster's?
I had let me just ask one thing. All of you, have you been lifeguards before, here? Any, okay. Do you have problems with people going out too far? Yeah. You're always trying to whistle them. That was our biggest problem. And what we would do, we had a horn, whistle and a horn, and we tried to get these people to come in. If they wouldn't come in, I'd take the rescue board out and get them in. And if they refused to come in, then when they did come in, the police were there to get them out of there and take them out. I'd kick them right off the beach if they did that. That was a problem. That was a real problem.
That was the real reason for the police badges, because people would say, you know, well, what authority do you have? And here's the authority.
Yeah. And every once in a while, we'd get particularly guys, not so many girls, but guys who would take advantage of the situation, throw the ball in amongst all the people and bother them. And we just say, hey, knock it off. And if they didn't knock it off, just say, okay, you're off the beach, go. And if they didn't, flash the badge and say, police are on their way, you're under arrest. But anyway, it was a fun time. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for your attention.